going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City video where things are really hotting up really when it comes to transfers involving Manchester City. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Remember, I'm going to be doing daily Manchester City transfer updates from June 1st for you guys to enjoy here on YouTube. I'll keep you up to date every single day with all the latest City transfer news here on YouTube. I'm aiming for 43,000 subscribers before June 1st, so any help towards that would be greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget as well, social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. We're aiming for 500 likes, and also don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So with no contract news, we're going to dive straight on in with the out. We've got the latest on Kevin de Bruyne, and Sacha Tavolieri has said that Kevin de Bruyne has given his family and his entourage the green light to negotiate an agreement to get that in place with Napoli in Italy to play in Serie A from next season. He wants the terms agreeing and everything sorting before this season comes to a close, so he can go on holiday for a few weeks this summer, relax with his family and not worry about what life is going to look like post Manchester City. So it is looking like Napoli is the club that he's going to pick to choose to go to next. Napoli, of course, are the firm favourites to sign Kevin de Bruyne. He still feels like he can compete in Europe, so he wants to be playing in Europe. He wants to be available for Belgium for the World Cup next year. That's his priority. That's what he's looking like, and he feels like Napoli is the team for him to help him to achieve that goal. Napoli want that green light from Kevin de Bruyne, which they've now got, so it's all about crunching them numbers and getting that agreement in place. And if they can successfully negotiate them agreements in place, I don't think it'll be too long before it's announced with Kevin de Bruyne having a pre-contract agreement to join Napoli upon the expiry of his Manchester City contract. Still waiting to see if he's going to be available for the Club World Cup or not. I'm starting to think, with it being left so late, that maybe his contract's just going to expire on June 30th if he's going to leave Manchester City, and he's going to go on his summer holidays upon the Premier League season coming to an end, and he won't go to the Club World Cup with City. We'll have to wait and see. Still waiting for clarification on that. Now, moving on, we've got the latest on James McAtee, and the Mirror have said that Manchester City want £25 million for McAtee this summer, despite him having 12 months left on his City contract this summer. Leeds United, Nottingham Forest, West Ham United and Crystal Palace all interested from the Premier League. Bayer Leverkusen, the team showing the most interest in Europe and still very much interested in signing James McAtee for Manchester City. So it's looking like McAtee isn't going to sign a new deal. Still no word on him even entering into contract renewal talks with City. So it's looking like McAtee will be leaving in the summer. City want £25 million for him. And if I was in charge at Manchester City, if all teams are willing to spend £25 million here, then if I got to pick and choose which club he ended up joining, I'd probably go with Bayer Leverkusen, because I just want well, personally, I feel like the best development for McAtee would be away from the Premier League, but also helps Manchester City because we do have a little bit of control when it comes to this transfer, with him still having 12 months left on his City contract there. What we don't want him to do is join another Premier League club and then next season he ends up putting up a really good performance, getting assists and scoring goals and affecting Manchester City. So I feel like we could still face Bayer Leverkusen in a European competition, but what I would want to do there is it's less likely that we'd face Bayer Leverkusen next season, where we're guaranteed to play any of the Premier League teams at least twice in the season. Anyway, let's move on to the ins. We've got the latest on a new name, and it's in the form of Nicolo Savona from Juventus. Now, Mercato has said that Manchester City have got a verbal agreement in place with the player. He says that Savona isn't the first right-back choice for Manchester City. Wesley's the first right-back choice that City want to try and bring in for this summer. Other contradicting reports have said that City believe to have identified a few fullbacks, and Wesley's third or fourth choice rather than being first choice. But this source saying that the City is seeing him, Wesley that is, as the first choice. Apparently second choice is Tino Livramento from Newcastle. Savona is another player City are keen on and getting everything in place there. Should he be the player that they want to make a move for, then that would get tied up pretty quickly. And what I'm getting a sense of here from City, because our transfer window opens on June 1st, I think it closes. It's at June 10th or June 11th before we head out to the Club World Cup the week after and the transfer window reopens for us. I think City are going to try and get a deal done in that week and a half, and I reckon it will be a fullback to permanently replace Kyle Walker, and Savona would be a very quick and easy transfer for City to get done. So it remains to be seen if City do want to make a move. He's very much a bit part player at Juventus, very much a rotated option for them. He's played 27 times in Serie A. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist. Transfer market have got him valued currently at 14 million euros. So we're looking at roughly around 10, 11 million pounds. So we'll see. As I said, very cheap, very affordable deal here for Man City if they do want to make that move for Savona. Could well be Wesley, could be someone else. Remains to be seen. Jack Gaughan has confirmed that City regard right back as a priority position to replace Kyle Walker this summer. They may not, or they may, the game remains to be seen, want to have a look at a left back, so I'm not entirely sure with City looking at 1 or 2 players for 1 or 2 different fullback positions, what that means for the versatile Andrea Cambiasso. I thought City were going to make their move for him with him being the versatile fullback, but I think City are just having some concerns about his injury record. I think he's injured right now, so maybe just City having second thoughts about that deal. Anyway, moving on, we've got the latest on Carlos Baleba over at Brighton and Hove Albion, and Jack Gaughan has said that Manchester City have sent scouts out to watch Baleba at Brighton from January. They were interested in making a move then. However, we brought Nico Gonzalez in and that ended that interest. Now, it remains to be seen as to whether City want to make a move for him again this summer. If they do, he would command a high fee. Brighton drive a very hard bargain when it comes to signing some of their biggest and best players. Baleba is a Cameroon international, only 21 years old. He's having a real good season with Brighton. Plays in central midfield. There's lots of interest in particular coming from other Premier League teams as well. So we'll see if City do want to make a move for him. But what we're seeing here is Man City having a look at players who are around that age. 21-year-old Baleba, 22-year-old Savona from Juventus. So these are the kind of players and roughly the age that City are looking at. And speaking of 21 and 22-year-olds, moves us nicely on to Wesley. So we've got an update on him, and Pablo Oliveira, a journalist from Brazil, has said that Manchester City have opened up talks now with Wesley's camp about making a move this summer. His camp have said that Flamengo have told their players' entourage that they're looking for 45 million euros, so 38 million pounds, to make this deal happen this summer. Wesley's a right-back Brazilian, plays for Flamengo, 21 years old. Not just Manchester City that are interested, Liverpool also interested, but I believe Liverpool are currently showing more interest in other fullbacks, including former Manchester City man Jeremy Frimpong, who has been linked with a move to Man City, but City seem to have cooled their interest on that. Now moving on, we've got the latest on Tijjani Reijnders over at AC Milan, and Mike McGrath given an update on him this morning and said that City is showing a lot of interest in bringing Tijjani Reijnders in from AC Milan. He's seen as a serious summer target in this window. AC Milan value Reijnders at more than £56 million, so they're looking for a club record fee, which I think is currently set from their sale of Kaká a few years back. I think maybe Sandro Tonali may have pushed that deal close as well. So it looks like they're looking for north of £56 million for Reijnders to potentially leave this summer. Now, Reijnders turns 27 this summer. He's a central midfielder, plays for AC Milan, a Netherlands international. He speaks very well. He's a very positive person, a quality player as well. So I'd love to know your thoughts, because for me, I think Reijnders should be a player that Manchester City are having a really good, strong look at heading into this summer. He's the kind of midfielder that you could build your midfield around, and I think he'd be a real good engine for Manchester City. Now, I'd be more tempted to say City could make a move if I knew that one of either Gundogan or Kovacic would be leaving this summer, but it looks like Gundogan's going to be staying, and I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with Kovacic, with some interest coming in from Saudi Arabia. We have to wait for further clarification. I don't think we'll get clarification on that until we get later into the summer, so we'll have to wait and see, but very much a player that City are thinking about and very much interested in right now. Now, moving on, we've got the very latest on the Florian Wirtz saga, which continues to drag on. Now, Sacha Tavolieri has said that Bayer Leverkusen are furious about Bayern Munich's approach to try and apply pressure to them via German media by leaking information about a verbal agreement being in place with the player and Bayern Munich. Now, Bayer Leverkusen do not want to sell Wirtz to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are doing everything they can right now through releasing information to various media establishments to make things common knowledge to try and bully Bayer Leverkusen into a sale. They're insistent that the player wants them and only them, so that gives them all the power here, whereas Bayer Leverkusen, because he's still under contract with them, feel like they've still got a bit of power. And what we're seeing here is a bit of a transfer tussle where Bayer Leverkusen, if they are to sell to Bayern Munich, which they don't want to do, then they want them to pay top dollar. And they've done something which I thought was quite funny because Tavolieri said that Manchester City purposefully released this, by the way. I believe this is probably coming from Bayer Leverkusen's end rather than Man City's end, so I'm not going to get too excited about what's being reported, but really interesting nonetheless, because Tavolieri says that a verbal agreement being reached between Bayer Leverkusen and Manchester City over the transfer of Florian Wirtz. Tavolieri says that Bayer Leverkusen have set a €100 million price tag for any foreign club interested in signing Florian Wirtz this summer. So we're looking at £84.3 million. So that would be the price that Manchester City would have to pay, which I presume Man City have told Bayer Leverkusen that they're happy to pay that. Now, I know Bayern Munich are also happy to pay that price, but Tavolieri has said that Bayer Leverkusen have told Bayern Munich they've set a special Bayern Munich price, where if they want to sign Florian Wirtz this summer, then they've got to pay an extra €50 million, €150 million or £126.5 million. Some transfer games being played. They want them to negotiate. They want Bayern Munich to pay more, and I firmly believe that Florian Wirtz will be a Bayern Munich player. If not this summer, then it'll be an agreement in place for that to happen next summer. So really interesting, this one. Tavolieri has said that Bayer Leverkusen, they'd prefer to sell Wirtz to Manchester City. Manchester City are prepared to spend more on Florian Wirtz to make this transfer happen when it comes to the fee. However, Bayern Munich are doing everything they can to convince the player to pick them and only them by saying that they're prepared to pay Florian Wirtz more than what Manchester City are. So very much a transfer tussle going on. I feel like City's name's being used here, so I'm not getting too excited. I would be very surprised. I would go, in terms of, if we're looking at probability here, I'd probably go with maybe 95% I think he becomes a Bayern Munich player. The other 5% is Manchester City. So I think that's what we're looking at here. And I think a game's being played to try and see what the player wants and what the club wants. And when there are two different things, the transfers can get very messy. And sometimes with players still under contract for a longer period of time, it becomes even more complicated. We've seen that with ourselves with the likes of Bernardo Silva. How many times has he been priced out of a move away from Manchester City? He's had to settle with staying at Manchester City because of limited interest, whereas this transfer with Florian Wirtz is a little bit different because there's not limited interest. We've got more than one club interested who Bayer Leverkusen would prefer to sell to, but what we're looking at is Florian Wirtz wanting his move to Bayern Munich. So something has to give at some point. This saga dragging on, but interesting. Would love to know your thoughts of that, guys, in the comments below. So there we go. That has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. 500 likes is the aim, the like goal for today's transfer update. Don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new around here. Remember, daily Manchester City transfer updates from June 1st for you guys to enjoy here on YouTube. It is free to subscribe, aiming for 43k subscribers by the end of the season. So any help towards that would be great. And do also go and check out my social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.